They call me crazy cause I'm facing all my giants. They try to scare me into thinking I can fight it. They tell me I should never even think of trying. But that's just me, I'm gonna live out in defiance.
What's up, fam? It's Trey. Today I wanted to share a little bit about the one major thing you need to do before you start a business. You know, we have this pandemic going around the world right now, and everybody's like, dude, guess I'll die. Guess my life's over. Don't got any more money. And a lot of people are like, hey, my boss is like about to fire me, so guess I'll die. You know what I mean? So people are coming and being like, hey, I know you've started some businesses. How do I start a business? I want to start a business. The most important thing for you to do before you start a business is to find a problem. Look around and be like, man, this thing sucks. I hate this thing about that service. Or I hate this factor of driving to work or waking up. I hate waking up because of why, or whatever. Just think about, tune your mind into like the very small, like grinding nails on a chalkboard, little things that happen throughout the day. And they might be things that you've trained yourself to just deal with, or you've trained yourself to just ignore. And I think it's really important to like step back and choose to be sensitive to those things again. Because when you find those problems, the things that you hate dealing with all the time, chances are like a lot of other people are like, dude, why isn't there a fix for this thing? And if you solve it, if you figure it out, whether it's like a product or a service or like an app or something, you can be like, hey dude, this will solve your problem. And then they'll be like, take all of my money, please. I love you. Take my money now. And then you'll be like, all right, let's do this. One of the ways we've solved that here in Japan is that, you know, a lot of people have ideas of Japan being very high tech and very futuristic and things like that, like flying around on skateboards and like bullet trains and stuff. Flying skateboards, I don't think is a thing anywhere, but bullet trains are. But they're not like a part of most people's lives. And likewise, Wi-Fi isn't very widespread here. And if you find it, then it's like, oh, I gotta log into this thing every time I connect to it, and they'll be like, max 100 megabytes, or like, here, you have to sign like a 30-page Japanese document, and you don't know what they're talking about. And then you read the details, you get a Japanese person to read the details, and they're like, we're stealing all your info, bro, lols. Yeah, so Wi-Fi isn't very common here. So we started to provide pocket Wi-Fi. We ship it to the airport or to the hotel of the client. They get off the plane and they're like, bing, I'm on the internet. My whole crew's on the internet. Dope. Let's do this, you know? And that's a way we solved a problem, because me and all of my foreigner friends who traveled here would be like, why is this so like dark ages, you know? Especially if you're coming from like a bigger city where literally everywhere you go, there's like free Wi-Fi networks and stuff like that. So that's the way we've solved the problem, you know? And now we have staff, and now we have like a website and like all these different things going on. And it's started to provide a living for us and other people, you know? Speaking of that, I guess one of the other things that we need to talk about before you think about starting a business is, what are your goals? What are your purposes in doing it? If it's just like, you know, I want to make videos like Peter McKinnon because it looks fun, you might find out that actually you don't like doing that. Another lesson that I've learned in the past was I love cars and I love washing, or I liked washing cars. And one time I was just like, I like washing and waxing and detailing cars, so why don't I start a business doing that, and then I can do it every day? Do it, and not only do it every day, but I can like get paid to do it every day. That would be dope, you know? So I did it, and you guessed it, I sucked for a while. I had one friend who paid me, I think it was like $50. He had like a black Suburban, and black cars in California are very hard to do well because you like spray the water on, and then it's like 130 degrees. We're in Riverside, California, and the water evaporates and leaves all this like salt and stuff on the car. And dude, I like spent all this time on his car, and then I'm like, dude, come back, pick up your car. And he comes, and it looked like we both knew it just looked so trashy. It like looked worse than when he brought it to me, and I'm like, hey, so can you pay me now? Yeah, you know, and you know, he's like one of my best friends, even still to this day, even though I've lived here for so long. But he was like, dude, it doesn't look that awesome, but I'll pay you, and then just like give me a free car wash in a couple weeks kind of thing. So, you know, we worked out, and we worked through it and figured it out. But yeah, you gotta suck, you gotta make those failures. But one of the things you gotta think about is like, why would you like to do this thing, you know? For me, I actually really like seeing the people around me develop. So we have a crew here now. We have 5 people in Japan, and we also have people overseas too. But I've realized that one of the coolest things for me is helping these people to develop as adults, as sisters or brothers or children or parts of society or leaders in their clubs or their church or whatever, you know. That's become a passion of mine. So I'm like, I just want to make more companies so I can hire more people. Yeah, of course, when you're doing it right, money comes, but when actually you just love being together all the time, you don't even really need to think about like, oh my gosh, I only made, like, our company only made like a little bit of profit this month or whatever. You're like, dude, we get paid to like be with our best friends all the time. This is dope, you know? Yeah, so that's become like a passion of mine. But I think you really need to figure out, and it's going to take some experimenting. It's going to take a lot of failing. It's going to take a lot of like mistakes, but you need to figure out kind of like, I would like to serve people in this way, or I would like to experience these types of things going into the future. One of the difficult things, I think, when you're on YouTube all day or on Facebook or on Instagram all day is that you see people who are like, yeah, I get paid. I'm a YouTuber and I have like 500,000 followers. I get paid now to travel the world and go to like Bali and go to like Australia, and now I'm in like Spain. Yeah, it's like really fun kind of thing. But actually what you don't see is that traveling is super tiring. Traveling is very expensive. They probably get sponsored for it now, but all the other stuff you're not seeing on Instagram is actually like them like throwing up in a strange like alleyway in the middle of the night in Lisbon or something, and it's like, we don't know how to find a doctor, we don't know what to do in this situation. I don't know Spanish, or I don't know Chinese, or I don't know like Swahili or whatever country you're in, and there's a lot of other hard stuff. But one of the tricky things about social media is that it's really easy to just paint like the optimal, beautiful picture of yourself. Don't look at those things and be like, man, my life sucks. I'll never be able to have like a life where every day is just like surfing on the beach and drinking, you know, Mai Tais or whatever. Like, nobody's life is actually like that. And actually, if your life was like that, it like would be boring. Like, out of all the people that I know that eventually get to that phase, they're like, yeah, you know, I was chilling on the beach for like 3 days and I got super bored and I just want to work. You know, and one of the really interesting discussions that's come up with like Andrew Yang, Yang Gang, holla back, is universal income. And it's like, hey, if this thing works, we might not ever have to work again. That would be awesome. Now we could just like play Smash Brothers all day or something. But one of the really tricky things we need to be careful about is that humans are actually designed for feeling rewarded and feeling growth and satisfaction through progress, and through working, and through building something or helping a group to accomplish something. And I think like the rates of depression and the rates of psychological issues and stuff like that probably would go up if all of a sudden Trump or Biden or whoever was like, hey guys, the economy sucks right now. The Dow Jones just lost like 10% less, like yesterday, I think it was. We're gonna give everybody $5,000 a month for like the next 10 years. We would see like depression and like all these weird things skyrocket, I think, because we're actually designed for progress and to do stuff and to work in teams and community and things like that. Yeah, so I think, I'm not saying that to say like Andrew Yang sucks or something like that. Like, on the contrary, actually really like Andrew Yang and wish he was able to go further, and wish a lot of the country could like consider his ideas a little bit more. We'll see what happens in the future or whatever. But yeah, not to like talk politics, not to like get people riled up or anything like that. All that to say, before you start a business, before you think about starting business, it's good to think about, I really function well in this type of scenario, or I really feel benefited or satisfied, or I really feel growth in this type of scenario, or when I do this. So those are two big things to think about. But going back to solving a problem, it's hard to grow and it's hard to make money and it's hard to develop a company when you're not actually solving a problem. You could be like extremely passionate about like planting flowers and seeing gardens grow, but unless you're solving a problem, you live in an area where people are like, I have millions of dollars and I hate planting flowers. I wish there was somebody who could plant a cool flower for me and I'd pay him like $500. Like, unless you live in an area where that is a problem, you're not going to be able to make a business out of it. So that's the balance between those two things that you really got to think about. Hope that helps. Hope that gives you some value. Hopes that gets the gears going in your head. And let's talk about it. Share your thoughts about it. Share your ideas. And maybe we can get a conversation going in the comments section below. As always, Tiger Uppercut, that subscribe button and that like button for the YouTube algorithm, which is my boss. I would appreciate that very much. Please let me know how I suck. Like, maybe this video is just garbage. Let me know, dude. I want to improve. This is like my first day of taking videos. So let me know, and I'll try to implement those things. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.